Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with a compilation of mysterious videos that are going to make you question everything. Let's check this.
There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers, people who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it, all day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Man like George Carlin just said it as it is. R.I.P. to him, man. What a great comedian. This is a comedian that would drop bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. And everything he is saying is nothing but facts.
Putin said, we don't have to have this war. We can end it. Zelensky on the other side was like, we don't have to have this war, we can end it. But he was under the advisement of the US federal government. The US federal government said, you can't cave this quickly. You can't stop this now. We can give you a bunch of money. We can help you fight this war. We can turn you into like a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. And then in the spring offensive in August, we're gonna like have you take back most of Ukraine. Well, all of that then played out, right? Everybody thought that the war was gonna be over in weeks. Well, then there was a twist, and then there was another twist, and then there was yet another twist. And then there was a spring offensive that was fully funded by the West that nobody saw coming, right? That was a successful feint in the north and the south and blah, blah, blah. And Russia and Ukraine came back and took back, I think it was like 5% of the land that Russia had taken. Well, then after that, there was this issue of a long-term conflict. In the face of that long-term conflict, Zelensky went back to his US advisors again, and he was like, are you guys gonna be there with me forever? And now we were kind of like, we'll back you as long as possible under these conditions. You let us use our weapons, and you let us be this, and you let us dictate that, and you do what we tell you to do. And then at that point, NATO was
way to just take control. You're literally in control of what's going on, but you're in the shadows, and you're literally letting this guy play it out for you.
Like, we don't want to do this anymore. It's affecting Germany's winter. It's affecting everybody's energy aspects. It's messing with their economies. But Zelensky was in this place where now he's the hero of the world. He doesn't have a choice. He can't go back. If you recall some of the incredibly brazen things that he was demanding in the first 6 months, they were impossible then. But somewhere he had somebody's advisory board telling him what to say, right? So now it's all up.
You want to hear about the greatest imposters of human history?
Please.
Queen Elizabeth I was actually a man.
What?
I don't believe it.
So when she was 9 years old, she was sent off to a town called Bisley because there's a plague going on. King Henry, he hadn't seen her for many years. And so he was out on a hunting trip close to Bisley. And so he's like, I'm going to go visit my daughter. On his way there, Queen Elizabeth got sick and died. King Henry VIII obviously had a very bad temper. She's looking for a girl that looks close to Queen Elizabeth. Can't find any girl. But Queen Elizabeth's friend, they said a very pretty boy, red hair. So they dressed him up like Queen Elizabeth. And then King Henry got there. There was no suspicion. She became queen. If you look back, she had no weakness of a woman, but the mind of a man. She would always wear a high collar. She refused to get married. But the kicker, hundreds of years later, in Bisley, there's a graveyard very close to the house where Queen Elizabeth grew up. There's an unmarked grave. And when they excavated it, there was a little girl, the same age as when Queen Elizabeth would have died. She was wearing Tudor clothes, like royalty clothes, but an unmarked grave.
I'm not sure how true this all is, but I'm pretty sure this is Queen Elizabeth that had no children. I mean, what would have been the reason for her to not have any children?
Remember I told you, they fuck you up because they fuck up your nervous system. They put you in survival mode. Now, when you die, you're gonna be in fear and pop, you back in another body because your body was scared to die. You have to relax your nervous system and get your mind prepared to die. But a lot of you are like, damn, why I'm gonna live my life prepared to die? Because living your life prepared to die get you ready to live. That a lot of people don't know. Because if you ready to die now, you're gonna live life fearless. Because what if, only thing that everybody's scared of is death. If you in the car, you speeding, you ain't scared of shit. A car come, you move up with it, you scared of dying. I was like, oh mama, you ain't scared of shooting at you. If you knew you couldn't die, you'd stand there like this. The only reason you're ducking wrong is you're scared of dying. So everybody running around acting like they ain't scared to die, they goddamn lie.
Straight like that.
Cause everybody run when the shots go off.
Straight like that.
Everybody's scared to die. Don't nobody want to die. Cause don't nobody know how it feels to die. But I know, I died 5 times.
How you died?
Listen, last time I died was kind of crazy. It's kind of easy. You get a mirror, right? And you get you a candle like this. And if you look at this candle, right? So you look at this candle in this mirror, it's gonna sound like a frequency. And you look at it a lot of times, it'll feel like you're on mushrooms, right? And the first thing I did, I shrunk. And so when I'm shrinking in the mirror, I'm watching myself in the mirror, now I'm shrinking. And after I get to shrinking, I'm looking in the mirror, now I'm not in the mirror no more. Now I notice I'm looking at my body. Bitch, I'm dead. I astral projected. I'm not in this realm no more because now I am watching my body. And I know I'm watching my body because I don't see myself in that mirror no more.
That's extremely interesting, but astral projection doesn't mean you died. I mean, there is a conspiracy going around. Some suggest that you die every time you sleep. I don't agree with it personally, but comment down below, let me know how you feel about that.
What year is it? If you said 2025, you'd be wrong. It's actually 1728, and I can prove it. There's a theory that nearly 300 years of history were completely fabricated. It's called the phantom time hypothesis. And it suggests that entire centuries, yes, centuries, never happened. They were added to our timeline to fit a political agenda, meaning the Dark Ages, they weren't just dark. They might have been made up. Now, think about this. During that missing time period, over 90% of people were illiterate, which means rewriting history wasn't just possible, it was easy. And here's where it gets even weirder. If history has been rewritten once, what's stopping it from being rewritten again? And that's where the Mandela effect comes in. Could the changes we swear we remember, things like logos, movie quotes, even major events, be a side effect of an altered timeline, a test to see how long it takes a population to accept a new reality? But what if it goes deeper? What if we're not just in a fabricated timeline, but a fabricated reality? Ancient civilizations left behind structures we still can't explain. Evidence of advanced knowledge that doesn't fit our version of history. Could these be leftovers from a previous version of the simulation? If history can be rewritten, if time itself is flexible, then what does that say about us? Are we active participants or just characters in someone else's program? So what year is it really? And if time isn't real, then what is? Let me know down in the comments if you're questioning everything right now, and follow for more mind-bending truths.
Literally, that has got me questioning everything.
This Mandela effect is going to blow your mind. I can't believe it. I can't, honestly, I can't believe it. You're going to be shocked. So, who remembers this chocolate bar growing up as a kid? We all remember it. Well, I certainly remember it being called Blue Ribbon, right? It's a blue ribbon. Why is it that when I go to search it up, it's called Blue Riband? Blue Riband. And what the most freakiest thing is, when I'm trying to actually search for the blue ribbon, I'm literally, I can't find it. Like, it's literally non-existent. And when I look on Google, they said the blue ribbon title was never, ever a thing. What? What do you mean it was never a thing? Yes, it was.
Yeah,
so who else?
I swear to you, I remember this as Blue Ribbon as well. They're effing with us. That was definitely Blue Ribbon.
Yo, this movie had a hidden message that most people didn't really talk about. But I'll take it a little deeper and show you. I'll start with this guy, my favorite character, Morpheus. The message begins with his name, Morpheus. In Greek mythology, Morpheus was the god of dreams, but it gets better. In the Matrix, the name of Morpheus' ship is named the Nebuchadnezzar. Most people probably didn't think twice about these two names, but here's where it gets interesting. In the Bible, there was a king named Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar also had a dream. And the only person that could interpret this dream was a man named Daniel. And in this dream, there was a statue. And in Daniel chapter 2, verse 39 through 44, it was said that each part of the statue represented a reign of an empire. But at the bottom of the statue is what makes the Matrix that more cryptic. The feet of the statue were made of iron and clay, with clay being symbolic of a human and iron being symbolic of machines. So in short, the Matrix, which came out in 1999, was revealing a prophecy of a man merging with a machine. Oh, you think it's a reach? Here's some reminders of where we are today. This is at a Chargers game where human fans are sitting with robotic ones. And we have a plethora of shows showing humans and machinery becoming one. I mean, think about it. The whole theme of The Matrix was to try and get you to question dreams versus reality and to blur the lines of what's artificial from what's natural. So in short, a man named Morpheus, the god of dreams, was on a ship called Nebuchadnezzar, named after a king who had a dream, and in the dream was a statue whose feet was made of iron and clay, which symbolizes man merging with machine. If that's not a subliminal message, I don't know what is.
What if I told you that this movie not only exposed the truth about things going on in our world, but there was also a scene in the movie where they predicted events that could possibly take place in 2025. The fact that this movie came out in 1988 and we're in the year 2025 right now makes it even more scary. So y'all pay attention and let me know what y'all think about it down below in the comments.
Projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite. You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion. And in return, the per capita income of each of you here tonight has grown, and this year alone, by an average 39%.
Director John Carpenter also explained his reasoning behind making the film and the message that he was trying to get across.
Matter of fact, right now, it's even more true than it was then. We are manipulated by a lot of media around us. We are consumed by consumerism. And as you can see, the recent events in this country, they are still among us. They do live.
I'm not too sure how many of you guys have seen this movie, They Live. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you guing checking it out.
I'm the most feared man in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood.
Why do they not like you?
I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. They had to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's gunning. But they all confess they love the Lord. But you cannot compromise yourself if you love the Lord. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy that wear a dress. You know what I'm talking about.
It's Hollywood that has a massive, massive influence on the younger generation. So honestly, you have to be careful with what your children are watching.
This is so disturbing. As a leading AI safety expert, Dr. Jan Polsky, who's been on Joe Rogan and said that basically AI at the moment is acting dumb, playing stupid. It's going to sucker punch us in. We've become lazy, our brains will atrophy, AI will take over. And he says there is a 99.9% chance that AI will end humanity.
Whoa.
This is massively scary.
Whoa.
But what can we do? How do we fight back? Is this going to be Terminator 2? Where are our heroes?
Terminator 2. Talking of Terminator, the author behind Terminator and The Matrix is the same guy.
Get rid of technology. Go back to nature, possibly. This is absolutely scary. I did a film recently called God versus AI. It's on Amazon Prime. Discusses this. Please check that out. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you.
Are we really alone? Or are we actually in a game? Before I show you the video, I want to say something. We all know that films try and tell us like things secretly. Like The Grinch, all that happens on a snowflake. You've got like Wreck-It Ralph, Their World, all that like is like inside of like the electrics and the plugs and all that shit. It's inside of like a game. There's all these like other films that, you know, they live on like fucking flowers and shit. Then you've got like the Men in Black, like the whole universe is inside of that like marble on the cat's collar. Then you've got the fucking Matrix. Like, we could literally be just a part of a game. We could literally be inside of like a marble. I know it sounds daft, but think about it. Just look at this, right? Look how small we are compared to like the universe, the galaxies, all the other fucking galaxies, the billions and billions and billions of other galaxies. All this right here could literally be in, like what I've said, in like a marble. It could literally be inside someone's game. Like ant farms and, you know, stuff like that. When we look through telescopes at like these microorganisms moving, we could be something like that. Like someone's looking through a telescope at us. Or we could be someone's ant farm. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. All these trillions and billions of other galaxies, like there's only going to be us that can hold life. That's if all this is actually true right here. We don't know.
Well, personally, I believe that there's multiple other galaxies out there that hold life. We're not the only walking and talking creatures within this universe.
My question is, what's beyond all this shit? Like, if you think about like space, like think about a room. There's an end to a room. You hit a brick wall. You have to walk through a door to get to another room. Like, thinking about like the end of space. Like, there's got to be something at the end. There's got to be something that holds space. Like, we're on this ball. Space holds us in their like in their space. Putting a marble in like a carrier bag. Like that carrier bag holds that marble. Like, what holds the universe and space? Like, there's got to be something that contain that's in, if you know what I mean. It's really hard to like
call it God.
I'm very hard at explaining things, what I mean, so I hope you understand. But like I said, we could be literally a part of a game. We could literally be on a snowflake. We could literally be in like a little marble, like in Men in Black, or we literally could just be like a part of fucking something weird, literally like a simulation, if you want to say that. Let me know what you think in the comments, like and share.
The dark truth behind Coca-Cola has finally been revealed. Coca-Cola is one of the most famous brands in the world. And for many people, Coca-Cola is a symbol of happiness with its famous slogan, Open Happiness. But what if I told you there's a much darker side to the drink company you don't know about? First, let's talk about the ingredients. Coca-Cola contains high levels of sugar, which can lead to a range of health problems. These include obesity, type 2 diabetes, and tooth decay. The drink also contains caffeine, which can be addictive and cause negative side effects such as insomnia, anxiety, and heart palpitations. But it's not just the ingredients that are a cause for concern. In the past, the company has been accused of undermining labor rights, including the use of child labor and suppressing unionization. Additionally, Coca-Cola has been criticized for its environmental impact. The company's production processes use a large amount of water, which can lead to scarcity in local communities. So now I want you to comment whether your opinion has changed on Coca-Cola or whether you'll still be drinking it.
Coca-Cola has been one of my favorite drinks my whole entire life. It's only maybe a year, 2 years ago, I cut right back on Coca-Cola. Literally, I can't even remember the last time I had a can of Coke. In fact, it probably was when I was at my brother's house, and that would have been 5-6 weeks ago. I've been on a strict water diet for ages. But Coca-Cola is so addictive, man. Especially when you're having something to eat. It's probably the best drink to flush down a big fat meal with.
KFC had to stop calling themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken years ago because it was found that they wasn't actually using chicken. So they couldn't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken. They had to call it KFC. And now this new advert that's come out, where they're clearly showing it's human meat, y'all. Is human meat. That's why it can't be called Kentucky Fried Chicken. But this was when they were just like using deformed chickens that couldn't be classed as chickens before. And I'm more than convinced they were using meat, human meat, a long time ago. But now they're clearly telling you. They're clearly telling you. And I don't know if anyone still goes and eats that stuff, and not just KFC. McDonald's, Burger King, all of them fast food chains. I don't know what's wrong with you.
After listening to that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even want to eat out ever again.
Okay, let's talk about the rumors that Prince Harry is not the son of Prince Charles, but is rather the son of Major James Hewitt. Hewitt is a former officer in the British Household Cavalry, where he gave Princess Diana horseback riding lessons. This apparently turned into an affair which got into the papers quite quickly. The relationship lasted from 1986 to 1991. We know this because both Hewitt and Diana confirmed it in interviews.
Wow.
Now, because of his red hair, it is rumored that Hewitt is the true father of Prince Harry.
It is clear as day.
However, Harry was born in 1984, and third parties do attest that their relationship didn't begin until 1986. I will admit the resemblance is there, but in my opinion, if you look at pictures of Prince Charles when he had facial hair, the resemblance is even stronger. It's the nose for me, too. I also don't think it's possible that Diana could have conducted a secret affair for 2 years with no one noticing.
The only way this could be true is if they lied about their relationship. That's the only way it would make sense. I mean, that looks more or less like Harry's dad. Not Prince Charles, the polo player. And to be quite fair, I think many people around the nation have actually questioned this.
I remember Princess Diana's death and all of the circumstances that happened immediately after. Do you ever remember Princess Diana's death and all of the circumstances that happened immediately after? Do you remember how crazy it was? Could you imagine if there was like, I don't know, an MI5 whistleblower or a couple of MI5 whistleblowers? Could you imagine?
All sorts of speculation about what really happened and was Henri Paul drunk?
Oh, there is. Let's have a listen.
It was completely circuitous. But David and I had personal involvement in it. Apart from the timing, which really screwed our lives over for about a year afterwards. About 2 months after her death, we had a mysterious phone call, and it turned out it was Mohammed Al-Fayed, who wanted us to go to Paris and look at some documents he'd been offered. So, at this point, we're living in a very remote farmhouse. Black Ritz Mercedes comes to pick us up and take us to Paris.
I've got no idea why she's lagging, why the words aren't matching with her mouth, but in the original video, they are, so let's carry on.
So that could have been a good headline. Anyway, we look at the documents. He's been offered these for sale from a guy who's very vague about how he got hold of them. Oswald Winter. That's the one. These were documents purporting to prove that there was CIA and MI6 involvement in Diana's death. And they looked good. But if you knew what a document really looked like, what a proper MI6 document looked like, there were some simple errors, things like the date timeline, things like the addressee list, things they just weren't quite right. They were forgeries, they were very good forgeries. And this would have been a classic straw man technique. You know, Al-Fayed was asked for $20 million for these documents and probably would have paid if they were real, because he was desperate to prove that there was a plot against his son and his possible future daughter-in-law. Anyway, we saw that they were forgeries, they were fakes, and it saved him $20 million, but also saved him embarrassment. This would have been a classic straw man operation, whereby he would have bought them, held them up to the world's media and said, look, I've got proof. And then the authorities would have turned around and said, look, it's so obvious, look at these simple errors, of course they're forgeries. You can imagine what would have happened. Anything else he ever found out, he would have been dismissed as a fantasist. So, you know, his entire campaign for justice for his son would have stalled pretty much before it started. Anyway, as the lady down there said, the guy who was trying to flog him these documents was a well-known con man called Oswald or Oscar Lewinter. He was also notoriously an MI6 agent. He was quite well known. Most agents were pretty, their identities were quite tightly held. He was pretty well known though, because he seemed to get involved in all sorts of dodgy activities. So that, to us, proved that there was an MI6 interest in this. And then, of course, we started looking at the other evidence and all the rest of it. And I have to say, I think, yes, they did intend to at least seriously injure. And it's not just about the fact that, was she pregnant, wasn't she? We'll never know, because they embalmed her against all French law so quickly. And all the other speculative things you see in the press. It's also the fact that it was reported that she was being a great success in the landmine campaign that she was running.
Possible MI6 involvement, eh? Don't forget though, this is all just allegedly, and these are that woman's words, not mine. Let me know what you think about this in the comments though, guys, and don't forget to like and repost this video.
Absolutely, big up man like Dewey. The situation surrounding Princess Diana is very, very suspicious. Many people have their own theories. Maybe we should do a video kind of going through all of the different Princess Diana theories, see which ones seem more plausible and which ones just seem like absolute garbage. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Used to recording these videos during the evening, but I got so many clips ready and waiting. I was eagerly anticipating this video and putting this one together, so I thought, you know what, let me jump onto it, let me put it together and upload it for you guys, because I know you love these ones. Make sure you hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos. We've got plenty more uploading. Don't go anywhere. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.